Okay, YouTube, we're back for another coaching session. It's going to be episode 2. Yeah, let's break this one down. So, I'm playing with a subscriber right now. We're trying to coach him. And what, you currently Diamond 2, I believe, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and this is quite interesting because you're actually running a sniper and you're on keyboard and mouse. So I'm very interested to see how you play, and I think we'll get like a different perspective of just kind of just how the other side lives, because I'm a controller player. I've never played on keyboard and mouse, so let's kind of see what you're working with. So starting off, I like this play. You're going to go to the bottom, and you're essentially, I'm assuming you're going to chuck a stun. Perfect. See, this is what I know, man. That's what I like right now. So you're going through, chuck a stun. Okay, so what is your main goal right here? Was you just hoping that when you chuck a stun, you open it, somebody would be positioned there?
If there's someone there, I would be ready immediately.
Yeah, perfect. Good. So you'd be ready, go for that gun. Yeah.
Then I'm moving to get the God Heady and the D2.
Perfect. Okay, so right now I think you're doing really well. I think a big thing is looking where your teammates are positioned. So I've got attack maps ready as well. So right now we can see you're kind of set up in a pretty standard setup. So I think one thing I'm looking out for in your gameplay, one thing I want to see is how quick you react to the minimap. So depending on what happens, I want to see what you do. So for now, I think this is a really good spot because you're basically watching this whole right-hand side. And to be honest, we know that A is very popular. So I'm very happy with the way you're playing so far. But let's kind of play this out and see what happens. Yeah. So you're going through, your teammate calls out double arch, you go through, you spot one. So good shot. So everybody that's watching at home, that's really good shot. So what actually ended up happening was he pushes through. He basically peeks there. So what happened is once he peeked there, I believe you kind of just knew he was going to re-peek it, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, so far so good, man. Really good shot. You're able to get the first kill. I'll try to turn this down as much as possible. It's hard. I think that's fine like that.
Last minute.
Okay, cool. So 3 versus 3. I'm just going to wait this out again. One thing I would be careful, though, is once you get the first kill, I'm actually curious, especially in these diamond lobbies. Do you feel like, do you think when you stay in the same position, it gets a bit harder? Do you think they normally adapt to this?
Usually, actually, they go from bottom bed. They try to flank me.
Okay, yeah.
That's
so
usually I will just sit now, it's like walk towards the door with a knife in my hand, just waiting for them to come. Like,
so you would go left
like instant. Usually, it's like basically like instant that they will challenge me.
So you're saying they would come through this door here, and you would have a knife ready. Okay, yeah. I think that's good because I think what happens, especially as you get more to the lobbies, like I know with Crimson lobbies, when I get a kill, what normally happens is the players I go up against, they're playing as a team. So I think especially as you're going up the ladders, right, especially up the level and stuff, I feel like you have to be very careful of when you get a kill to reposition. Now, I think this is a very rare angle because it's quite hard for them to kind of get you, even if they know you're here, unless they've got a sniper, and especially if you've got a good shot on you, which I think you do, it's going to be quite difficult for them to kill you. So let's see how this plays out. And your team is watching behind you, going to go through. Okay, so now this is where I think the problem I'm seeing straight away is if you're going to snipe, I think 1,000,000% you need to run a pistol. Is there a reason why you don't run a pistol with it?
Yeah, I will always either be like long distance or extremely close distance like this play. And I'm extremely good in quickscoping usually. This is a horrible game from me, but I'm very good in quickscoping. So no matter the distance, I will usually like just kill them anyways with my sniper rifle. Easier than I would kill them with my handgun.
Okay, I mean, look, fair enough. I like the confidence. I honestly would say, even if you're very skilled, which I can just tell, by the way, and especially your mouse and keyboard, I think it's a very different perspective as well, a different POV. Because of how fast your sensitivity naturally is with the mouse and keyboard, I feel like it's a lot easier to snap onto people. But I 1,000,000% would always recommend running a pistol. The reason why is just because you want to be able to run sometimes, and I feel like it'll just allow you to have that bit more flexibility. Like, for example, right here, I think you can get away with it, like you're saying, but against better players, right, when they use their equipment a bit more and they push you 2 at 1, I just think it's gonna be a bit harder. But saying that, I haven't seen your full game plan. With a mouse and keyboard, you might get away with it, but my advice would be to run a pistol. So I like this play right here. Yeah, no, that's okay. I think what I'm trying to do is, I can tell from our conversation earlier, right, you're obviously a good player from what we spoke about. And I think the reason why you're in Diamond is probably a few small changes that I think you need to make to get you to Crimson and hopefully Iridescent. So I think one of them might be the pistol. Like, your shot might be good, but I think as you're leveling up and you're getting against the harder players, I really think the pistol will come in handy, especially if your shot is good, because the pistol is actually very, very strong at certain scenarios. So if I was you, I'd implement that in your game. Now, the reason why you're doing this, I think we kind of discussed, is you're holding this angle. The problem with this is, again, you're relying on them to push here. Now, if I'm the opponent and I know you're in there with a sniper, I'm not going to push you. So although it's a good play, I think right now you're giving them a lot of power and you're basically trapping yourself here waiting for them to make a play. And me personally, I always like to be the one in control to make a play, especially when you look at the map. You've got one teammate here. These two teammates are dead, right? Now just imagine if they're going for the bomb and they get the bomb down on their side and then they back off. you instantly have to make a play. And this is where it gets a bit difficult because you don't have a pistol, you only have a sniper. I just think it just gets a bit difficult. You kind of trap yourself in a corner here. But let's see how this one plays out. And if you manage to get the kill. So you're going to go through. Your teammate gets one. So your teammate gets a kill. And let's kind of see what happens there. So you know someone else is around the middle, pushing through.
They're so off.
All right, so 2 versus 1. Okay, so your teammate did a good job kind of on the rotation. You're just going to play this corner. And again, right now, I think this is where, again, I feel like you're saying that you're comfortable with your sniper. But I think if you had a pistol, like, or a Vaznev right now, I don't think you would stay trapped in here. Would you agree with that?
No, definitely.
Yeah?
With an SMG or AR,
yeah, so
not.
if you had a Vaznev, for example, you wouldn't be trapped in here. So I think although you may, like you said, oh, I'm always in close combat gunfights or long-range gunfights, I think that's also a weakness as much as a strength. So although in this corridor you're very comfortable, you only have this corridor to maneuver around, to be honest. And now what's happened is your teammate has rotated. He's got a 2-piece, okay? Pretend these two aren't alive. He's got a 2-piece. Now you should be with him, rotating to B, getting the bomb down. But because you're sniping here, you're very one-dimensional and you're just really hoping that somebody peeks his alleyway. Now, imagine these two players guess that they're going B and they push together. And imagine this is the scenario right now. Your teammate's by himself. These two are pushed here. You're very, very out of the gunfights right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're nowhere near the gunfight. You're kind of just hoping for the best. And I think that could be a problem. So let's kind of see how this plays out. Now, obviously, you can go ahead and get some kills, but I think you're leaving it to chance. So you're going to go through. Your teammates are on the B point. You're playing by yourself. Now, let's see how this one plays out. If they come towards A, I feel like you might get fortunate and get some kills because I do trust your shot here. So let's see what happens. If they go to B, I feel like they can kill your teammate. So 15 seconds left here. So what are you thinking in this scenario? You kind of just hoping that they come to A?
If they come out,
you take him out.
I usually would be ready,
yeah.
But again, bad game.
Okay, now that's okay. So right now, I think you had the right play. You go through. And yeah, so now in this situation like this, what is your plan here? Are you just hoping that he peeks?
Either he peeks, I take him out, or I get closer and throw my Semtex at him.
Yeah.
Start with.
So again, do you not
also? Yeah. I have a daddy also ready, so
yeah. Do you not think right now? Imagine you had a pistol, okay, and you pushed up a bit and you chucked your grenade. You have more margin of error. I think that's what it's really about for me. It's not about your shot. I have full faith in your shot. For me, it's about the margin of error. With the sniper, you have less margin of error. So if you miss your one shot, then you're more likely to die. Like right now, I 100% think you could have hit that shot, but let's say you don't, that's where you can get a bit more inconsistency. So I think I want to see you use a different gun just to help you out a bit more, and let's see what happens there. So you're going through, and with 5 seconds left, you know they're going to plant, so you're making the right play, chucking through with a nade, but you don't know where the second player is, and this is the problem. Like right here, look at this play, okay? Although it's a good play, it will be a good play in a 1v1, but in a 2 versus... Oh, sorry, it is a 2 versus 1. Okay, I'm faded for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then to be fair, I think, yeah, let's see how this one plays out. I don't know why I thought it was a 2 versus 2. So as soon as you see him on the bomb, yeah, I want to see you push out. So I want to look at the timing here. So 10 seconds left. So you push through, get the first shot. Okay, perfect. So right now, in my opinion, you should win this round 100% because he has to be planting right now. If he's not planting and he kills you, you win the round regardless. So you're going to push through, wait for your teammate.
He's one shot.
Okay, so this is what I mean. So imagine right now, if your teammate wasn't with you, this is you. Like, against Shotzi right now, right? Do you think... I don't think you're winning this gunfight like against a better player right now in a 1v1. Do you know what I mean? So it's so much harder when you're using just a sniper. Like, you can... I think you're good with a sniper, but you definitely need to run a pistol, bro. Just to, like, help you out in these gunfights. But good play. You guys took your time. I think your teammate did really well, and I think I want to go back to that same point. You kind of patrol the right side of the map, but I feel like you kind of limited yourself. You kind of trapped yourself in a box. So you do have to be careful with that. Now, bearing in mind it is the first round, so I think it worked, but going forward, maybe it might not be as consistent. Do you think that's fair?
True. But of course, I would never be there with an SMG or an AR.
Yeah. No, but my point is, I think that's, like, for example, you're sniping this whole game, right? I'm assuming, or are you not?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Then we'll break it down. But my point was just for everyone watching as well. If you were to snipe every round, I think if you were to sit here every round and you kind of playing the same angle, that's when they can really play for you, especially as you go up the ranks, and they're going to start to adapt their game, and they're probably not going to do the same pushes, so that's where you got to be a lot more careful. But so far, I mean, that was a good play from you. I can tell your shot's good, you're confident, you're going to get the Vaz out, sorry, the Vel, so let's see what you do here. So your 2 teammates are going through middle. What's your kind of plan here? What's going on in your mind?
Good question, actually. Can you rewrite that a bit?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So let's start from the beginning of the round.
It's been a while ago since I played
that's okay. That's okay.
Game, so... Yeah, just go through kitchen, carpets,
Okay.
maybe check mid, maybe hot tub, see where the enemies might be.
Sure. So what is your biggest struggle then? Because you're obviously a good player in Diamond. So what do you think your biggest struggle is? Because we can kind of tailor it towards it. Like, why do you think you're not getting to Crimson then?
A number of reasons, I think. Maybe playing too aggressive.
Okay, so pacing.
Like I get hit, for example. I will challenge again while I should actually like retreat a bit.
Reposition, retreat, play different angle. Okay, so pacing is one, which is always a massive factor. Okay, so pacing. Anything else that stands out? Do you think that kind of is stopping you from getting there?
Some gunfights. I don't know why. Sometimes it feels like I'm shooting marshmallows, and that's actually the reason that I'm starting to learn playing controller now.
Okay. Is it the old aim assist debate?
With the aim assist and the hitboxes, or like I mean, it feels like the damage you do, the hitboxes you get with aim assist are more critical than with the mouse and keyboard. You will maybe shoot a foot or a hand.
Yeah, no, aim assist is very strong.
I'm really like putting my faith in the amount of hit markers that I will have. And if I'm hitting two bullets in a foot or a hand, the hit marker will not be fatal, you know.
Okay, we'll see. No, so right now you're going through the middle. You've got your veil out, so I mean you're pre-aiming, you're being careful. So you know someone's on the left there, so I'm curious to see how you play. Bearing in mind that you are a mouse and keyboard player, so your playstyle is slightly different in terms of the way you challenge, what guns you use, stuff like that. So straight away, you spot an opponent here, so I'm curious to see how you engage. So I think this is a kind of example of when you could disengage, right? Because you're trapped in the middle by yourself. Now, what I'm curious about isn't necessarily this player, but what I'm curious about is you don't have like flak or tack both, right? You got one of them, and I feel like he's going to have his teammates supporting him. And I feel like right now you're kind of trapped into a corner. So me personally, I probably would try to get out of there. You've got a teammate playing, where is he? He's playing here. And I feel like if his teammate comes through this side here, right, and starts to help him out, and you're kind of trapped here, I just feel like you're really trapped in a corner. This guy can push you, this guy can watch over you. So I'm curious to see how you play this and what you do here. So you're going through, and again, like, I'm not doubting your gun skill, but I think with this weapon here, a gunfight like that is very tricky. So yeah, this is perfect. That's what I want to see. So you know you spoke about your pacing. You spoke about how you struggled to like slow down your gameplay. You did it here, so you know what you're doing in terms of when to disengage. So I think it's just about doing it more consistently. So right now you spot him, and you know that this is. So why did you disengage? Because it was a dangerous gunfight, right?
Yeah, and the distance for mostly the distance with this
perfect.
gun.
So what he did for everyone watching as well, he got the knife out, he disengaged, and that's perfect. So my point was, when you told me your problem, it's not that you don't know how to disengage, it's just you're struggling when to disengage. So you know when how to do it. Example right there, your teammate goes through, he gets taken out. What are you going to do? Let's see. So now your teammate is called out that, you know, there's two people freezer, so you're going to push through. Now I want to see you use your equipment here, so hopefully you do. Your teammate's with you. This is where you need to go together. This is very important how you play the situation. So let's see what happens. So right here, I think, why do you feel like you didn't use your equipment here?
I would have. I think if you will continue to play, I will use it. But now because of my teammate was here, I would stun him. Also, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Why the fuck you still pushing?
So I think just personally, I think when you're here and your teammate's going with you, I mean, I understand why you're crouching. You didn't want to give too much away. I just think right now, because you know your teammate just died, it's quite common that he's going to be in this freezer. I think with your aggressive playstyle, like you mentioned, I think chucking a stun on the wall and just pushing him is probably the best play there. Do you think that's fair?
I'm actually surprised that I didn't.
Oh, okay, so is that one of those plays? So you agree with that? Just you thought, that happens. That happens. Yeah, that's fine. As long as we're on the same page of what to do. I know sometimes in the game it doesn't happen like that. That's absolutely fine. So as long as we both agree, that's fine. You go through, your teammates get taken down, and yeah. So 1 versus 3. Let's see what you do here.
You guys know, then you go.
Okay, so how are you gonna play this?
Shit.
That guy slapped us.
With dead silence, you can hear someone behind you. Take out one, reposition. Okay. So far, so good. Your centering is good. You're a good player, man. You're a good player. I don't see why you shouldn't be in Crimson. So I'm curious to see why you're not. And hopefully we get you there. You remember this?
I actually wanted to make a big rotation, and I was expecting
going to say
the glass to be broken so I could silently go down, but that was not an option. And I was running out of time.
I think the reason why you lost this, obviously it was a 1v4, so I'm not trying to be harsh, but if you had the bomb right here, I think you could have made a play to A. So the problem here probably was just that you didn't have the bomb, to be honest. Now, what I think you could have done is gone. I think if you knew the glass wasn't broken, like you're saying, you probably wouldn't have done this. But what I would have done is jumped off the ledge and gone through this corridor here, gone through outside. So if I was you, what I would have done is, if I reset this.
I'm actually thinking, why didn't I jump over the ledge now?
Exactly. So again, so you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, when you're analyzing the game right now, it's a lot easier to spot small mistakes. But obviously my job is to help you identify them. As long as you identify them, I think it just comes down to consistency. So once you got the 2-piece here, you did really good. These guys were dead. I think, assuming that the last guy is probably going to be here, and this guy, we don't really know where he is, but you've got the dead silence. So let's just say, I don't know where he is out there. I think once you got these 2 kills, the bomb was there, right? It was difficult for you to go through. I think just going through archers and going through the bottom and basically sneaking up on this guy and just making this gunfight a 1v1, I think you would have had more success. But like you said, you didn't realize the glass wasn't broken. You went through, and I think, yeah, at this point, I don't think you've got much time to work with. The only one thing I would say potentially is when you went through here, especially with 20 seconds left, you have to get 2 kills, is you probably should have just gone right. Because you got to remember, right, you're using a submachine gun. You want the angle as tight as possible. Now, if you're challenging this player here and you're out in the open, he's got a lot more advantage. So I think if you went right there, you would have been a lot more beneficial. You're going through, and even here, you got your knife out. But to be honest, there's not a lot of time. You're in a 1v4, so I'm not going to be too critical. That was definitely not your fault in that situation.
And
your teammate trolled.
That is also indeed one of my my issues. I'm usually not playing an SMG a lot, and if I do, like this one, I don't really find my routes to take.
Okay. So you're practicing your routes,
shorter distance. Sure. Okay.
One thing I would say, and just on that point right there, so if you want to get to Crimson, everyone watching as well, this is one of my most important points. I always go on about it, right? You just said to me you don't normally run the SMG.
Yeah, now, I'm trying to learn or like get better at it. Yeah.
No, that's good. I think when you watch CDL pros, for example, let's say you watch Dashi, okay? 99% of the time he's going to be running an assault rifle. Now, I think most people, what they do is they look at their favorite pros. I'm not saying you, but talk about people generally. They look at their pros and they say, I want to run that role. Now, the way I learn the game, and I feel like I've got good game awareness from this, is you're a sniper and an assault rifle player, right? So I know you're trying to learn the SMG, but I'll tell you the reason why it's so important is because once you understand the way an SMG plays, you actually be able to counter it a lot more. So when you do run the assault rifle, you'll be like, okay, I know as an SMG, I used to push through, this area here. So when you're playing from this side here, I need to watch this corridor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. So I mean, you're doing the right thing in terms of what you're trying to do. You're gonna go through the right hand side. Okay, so you're using a sniper again. I thought you were using a sub. So let's see what happens. So another really good thing you've done is you're doing the same play you did last time, but with a slight variation, which is excellent. You should 100% be adapting. So although you're going to the bottom right, you've actually adapted by not opening the door fully, you've opened it slightly. Now, one thing I will say is if you're going to go up against a good team, I can almost guarantee that they're going to be expecting this, okay? Because you got into about 2 gunfights the first defense. So I guarantee they're going to be expecting this against a better team. But I'm curious to see how you play this and what you do. So let's see what happens. So you're going through, your teammates get a trade-off. It's 3 versus 3, 3 versus 2. I feel like this round's going to go your way just because of the numbers. Now, again, you're kind of limiting yourself to like watching A. So I do think that with the sniper, you can potentially be quite one-dimensional. I think a better play sometimes is go top glass. Do you ever go top glass with a sniper?
Not a lot. I find it harder to. It's harder to. It's easier for them to kill me. I think.
I agree. I think it's easier for them to kill you top glass.
Less cover. It's less. For me, it's
more
harder.
Comfortable in this area. No, I mean, to be fair, with your shot as well, I think you can definitely back yourself. It's just about. I don't think this is a bad play, right? My main point is, what do you do if they go to B? That's my kind of point. I feel like you kind of trap yourself. That's all it is. So if you can't get any kills, I feel like you trap yourself. But let's kind of play this out and see what happens.
No, it's me.
So a minute left on the clock here. Your teammates are around you. So one's in bedroom. Your teammate just called out someone at Jules. So I'm assuming that I think this is Jules' hair, right? Is that what he's called out?
Jewelry, yeah.
So if he's calling out one there with a minute left on defense, I'm assuming that the offensive team are pushing that side. So this is where I want to see you rotate. Again, I've not seen this gameplay, so I'm very curious to how you kind of adapt to the callouts, and that's what can make or break your player, you as a player. So let's see what you do here. So your teammate has called out that they're going Jules.
Well,
and again, you're staying on this area. So I feel like what we spoke about the last round, like in 2 rounds in a row, you've not left this area. So can you see what I mean by not having a lot of map control? You're kind of limiting yourself.
Definitely. Yeah? But at that moment, I do feel like I'm using a sniper rifle. It's not like I'm supposed to run around the map, I should indeed,
No,
I could indeed have
I
like
100% agree.
more map awareness
yeah.
if I would be center back center. That's true. Yeah,
No,
but
so I think that's the limitation with the sniper. So I 100% agree with your point, and it's not like why aren't you running around? Because I think what you're saying is I'm sniping, so I should be locking down a lane. My point isn't that you're doing it wrong. My point is that if you're locking down this lane, this red area on the map, but you're leaving this whole area to your teammates. So although you're in a 3 versus 2, you should be using your numbers. Instead, it's actually a 2 versus 2. So what you're essentially saying to your team is, you guys fight it out. If they come to A, I'll take them out. If they don't, tough shit. You guys fight it out, we'll see what happens. That's how it kind of looks like. So although I agree with you, I think that's where you have to slightly be a bit more flexible. And yeah, it's very, very weird with a sniper because like you're saying, you don't want to push out too aggressive. You want to be able to play cuts, but you have to find a balance between locking down lanes and pushing. Now, on the other side, I think the fact that you're covering A gives you a lot of kind of freedom for your teammates to make a play. It just depends on them. So if that's the kind of player you want to be, that's another thing. I don't want to like say everyone has to make this play because everyone's got a role on the team. So if you're saying to your team, right, I'm going to lock down A, you guys be free roamers and make plays, then I think that's actually okay. It depends on the type of role you are for the team. That's kind of the principles. So is that okay?
And also, it's like a squad that we play a lot with. So
oh yeah, perfect. So that completely changes.
They know
it,
if I'm sniping, that I will usually go A.
Okay, yeah, that completely changes the game as well because, like you're saying, because you're squad. So I actually think that's a good point because you're playing with a team. You know, your team knows, right? You're going to lock down A. So what happens is they have a little bit more freedom. They can kind of leave you to it and play around you. So as long as you're communicating with your team, I think that's the good thing about Search and Destroy. It's like a chess match, right? Like it's not one way to win. There's definitely multiple ways. I'm just trying to give my input in terms of what I think could change potentially. But don't get me wrong. If it works for you guys, then it works. I just think as a like a external POV, I think that's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. But just mentioning it since I think it might.
Oh no, it definitely
changes.
Yeah, definitely changes. I think it actually makes it more warranted for you doing so. Because I think when you go solo queue, right, if you're playing here constantly, that's when you're relying on your team a bit more and it gets a bit tricky. But the fact that you're playing on a constant 4, I think that's actually a good thing that you've got like a set play style. But again, sometimes you want to be careful because like we mentioned, if they don't go to A, you are limiting yourself. But let's see what happens there. So now you're in a 2 versus 2, and this is where the problems start to happen because now your team's kind of pushed up by themselves. And now your teammates essentially roaming around and it's quite difficult. But let's see what happens there. You guys still have the advantage in terms of the bomb site. And yeah, you're going to watch A, your teammate's going to be by himself. So let's kind of fast forward slightly. And let's wait for a play. So again, you're still in this area here. You're waiting. So did you guys, you got some intel that they're at B. You're going to push through.
Why have you popped your daddy just to sit in a corner?
So you're going to go through.
Camping outside.
Jump across here. And I think another problem, right, with a sniper, by the way, I love sniping. It doesn't look like I'm just bashing snipers, but it's just right now, if you had a more aggressive gun, you could go with your teammate inside. So one thing I would recommend to you is I haven't seen you pick up another weapon off the floor.
There are none on my path.
Okay, yeah, but is that something you normally do or look out for?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's just, I just wanted to mention that in case that's something you might like goes over your head. But yeah, I think if you're gonna play like this and you pick up another weapon, I actually think that's perfect because then you're in a position where you can have the flexibility to do what you want. Yeah. So I think if you can get to a situation where you track bodies, so like okay, my teammate died top bedroom, let me go get the weapon. You actually be pretty good then, to be honest, because I actually like mouse and keyboard plays on the sniper. I think it's so important. And yeah. Absolutely. Just a side note, I understand what you were trying to open the door, right? Yeah. I would have said just use a stun just because then you could chuck a nade inside. But I mean, again, I'm just being very picky just to give an alternative option there. You end up using both anyway.
That's the reason. That's the reason
why.
Okay, yeah. It's a syntax, it could not like roll inside. You know?
Yeah, you did want it to be. Yeah.
One is still bad.
So they actually end up planting A. Yeah. So this is going to be very difficult retake here. But let's see how this goes.
Well, he was over at B.
So you've used your equipment. And what ended up happening was your teammate called they're at B, so you both kind of committed to it, but they kind of double bluffed you here. So I'm guessing what happened was one player was at B. So if I was to guess where they're going to be, no pun intended by the word B, saying it like 20 times, but I'm assuming what's going to happen is one of their players, you're going to be the red team, right? So you're here. You're trying to watch out for top hotel, like just making sure no one's flanking. And your teammate was, where was your teammate? Your teammate was middle map around here, right? I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming what happened was this player was here and he's backing off towards his spawn. And I'm going to assume that they've planted on their side and they're going to group up around here. That's what I'm assuming. Based on what intel I've got, I'm assuming that. So let's see how it plays out and if I was right and how you can retake this. So I like the way that you're playing aggressive, to be honest. You're playing well in terms of pushing through. You spot some guy there. And yeah, this is where it just gets very, very tricky because you're like, I think again, like just playing like this isn't, it's just difficult on the retake, to be honest. I just think you kind of set yourself up for failure not having an extra weapon. And it's just like, you can't really do anything from that moment. I think maybe one bit, if I'm being very picky, is instead of going up the ladder, up the truck, maybe go up the stairs so you can have that head glitch and you can watch the top bedroom. That's probably the only thing I would say. Would you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, true, definitely.
Yeah,
but
just so you can.
So bad timing with the.
Oh yeah, no, regardless, I think it'll be bad timing. But I just think the way I see it, right, is I think you're playing it like a public match, and you're trusting in your gun skill, which is great. But in a game like this, right, especially if you want to get to Crimson and Iridescent, you have to assume that. I think you have to give more respect to your opponent, in my opinion, in terms of not like you're disrespectful, but in terms of respect that they're going to play better. So you have to be a bit more safe.
That's actually what I'm doing now, and that's actually affecting my gameplay in a negative way, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like,
you got to remember, though, it might affect your gameplay in a negative way, but let me just give you an example, right? You're going at 100 miles per hour, and now you're trying to go at 40, right? We want to find you a balance. So don't think about it like, this is what I feel like from our conversation earlier as well, before we started. I think you're thinking, okay, I play aggressive, I get results. Now I'm playing slow, I'm not getting results. Surely my pacing is, reflective. But the way I look at it is, you're changing your complete game style. So you might suffer in the short term, but what you're doing is you're understanding what to adapt and when to get the right pacing. This isn't your perfect pacing. When you slow down, that isn't your perfect pacing either. It's going to be the mixture of the two. So it's going to be certain situations where you have to be aggressive and certain when you have to slow it down. So that's why don't worry about the short-term results. Even if you're struggling a bit more and you're like, right, obviously I'm not improving if I'm getting worse. Sometimes that happens. When you're working on a set skill, it doesn't mean that, your other areas are going to get affected as well. So just be wary of that. Don't be too harsh on yourself and think, right, if I'm slowing down, I'm not playing well, because then you're going to get in your own head and you're going to be like, right, I have to be fast. So just be wary of that.
Guy don't move, like.
So you end up dying there. Your teammate goes through. He's in a 1 versus 1. Okay, your team actually ends up clutching up. So let's kind of see what he does there. So he's in a 2 versus 2.
Yeah,
so your teammate got the win here. Your teammate clutched up here. So 1 versus 2, 20 seconds here. Okay, so he takes him out. Great play from him. You know what? Fair play, man. Your teammate fried this guy. Makes him 1 shot. 15 seconds left there. Got to push through. Oh, I don't know how he won that, but you know what? That guy trolled, bro. This guy trolled, but your teammate did everything well then. Fair play to him. Really, really good play from him. Clutches up. He clutched up, so fair play to him. Goes through, gets a round win. But you happy with that round, what we spoke about?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
But your comments, you mean? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and another thing is, you're going up against diamonds and platinums, okay? You're a very confident player. You're a very aggressive player. I want to see you on top of the leaderboards, right? You got your teammate on 8 kills. I think sniping's not a problem, but I honestly want to see you play a bit more aggressive in certain areas. Just work on your pacing a bit more like you're doing, and try not to play so constrained. Just because you have a good sniper shot, it doesn't mean you can't use it to different angles. Like 2 rounds in a row, you've gone bottom, and you haven't really found anything, right? The rounds ended on the bomb side, and then you've got a kill. So try mixing up. Maybe go top bedroom, maybe go top glass. I know you didn't say you said it's not your favorite position, but just try mixing up just to get a bit more aggressive if you really trust your shot. But I like this. I like the way you switch your guns constantly. I think on the offense, which is very good. It means you're not really being a detriment to your team because you're not just sitting in the back every single round. So I think it's good that you're mixing things up. And let's see what happens here. So you're gonna go through to the A bomb site. Slide across. Okay, you're gonna dolphin dive. Yeah, this is a bit tricky here, so we can break this out in a second. Okay, so what do you think about this? What was kind of going on in your head, because we can get a bit more context. So once I'll pause it in a second.
Instant regrets. Why the hell did I switch to SMG and not sniping?
So I think right here, okay, let me tell you what I think happened. So right now, what was in your head? You might not remember, but what do you think was this, like? What were you trying to do here? Basically, my question is.
Quick plant A, not expecting that they would be sniping in bottom luggage, because the other rounds they also didn't.
Shall I tell you why that would never work in this scenario? Because this is why I don't think it will work, right? Because so when did you decide to do a quick plant? Do you think you decided like when you spawned or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
So if you're playing with your team, right? I think did you communicate with them? I can't hear. Yeah, I think right now you need to tell them I'm getting a quick plant, because look what happens. Okay, you're going for the bomb now. Look,
quick plant. I will always call it out.
So you must have called it out. You're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so look what happens. So you're going to the bomb. Let's just assume this is you. You've got one teammate sitting here, which is fine. He's basically watching this area here. You can see he's watching that, right? You've got another teammate watching middle, which is fine. He's got this area here. And then you've got another teammate at the back. So maybe watching flank. The main area missing, right, is you've got no one watching bottom luggage, no one watching over you top bedroom, and no one watching bottom bedroom. Now, chances are there's going to be this is probably their setup, right? Someone bottom, someone top, potentially someone luggage if they're playing very, very safe, and someone middle, right? Would you think that's fair enough to say?
Yeah, definitely.
So what happened is you've gone through by yourself, and now you're like, shit, this door's open. Somebody shot me on the cross, and you've got no one to support you. Now look at the minimap. You're fighting for your life, and your teammate is now just come. So it's taken him 5 seconds, but you are basically dead. Now let's say you get away from this. That's still a problem because you shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. So if you're going to go for the quick plant, I think you should have someone with you with an assault rifle and a trophy system, chucking their equipment. Because this is another thing, right? You're using this bomb as cover. That's perfect, right? But you're going up against better players, and you're not like in like a low level lobby. You're not like in like bronze lobbies where they maybe don't utilize their equipment, right? You're in like diamond lobbies and stuff. So you have to assume they're going to use your equipment. Now, out of these 3 players, I'm sure one of them is going to hit their grenade on you, and that's all it takes. So if they're all spamming nades at you, right? At least one of them is going to hit you, which actually ends up happening, and this is probably why you died there. So that's kind of my take on the round. Yeah, do you have anything to say about that round or any kind of...
100% true.
So yeah, again,
100%.
I don't think it was a bad play. I just think in that moment when your teammates aren't with you, you kind of have to be careful of pushing the bomb site. And what ends up happening is, I think if you did tell your teammates that you were planting the bomb, then maybe they should have backed you a lot more. But that's just one of those scenarios where you got to think, right, what could go wrong? And try to limit that. Now, I'm not saying if you crossed with them, you would have stayed alive, because you definitely could have died. But my point is, if you're going to do that, just have a bit more cover with you. Have a trophy system, have someone watching over you, just to kind of pepper shots at them. Because imagine these guys are all looking at you, right? But let's just say number 4 instead was sitting at this head glitch. So now while these players are shooting you, he can chuck a stun over, he can chuck a nade, he can shoot back. And now look how much more mixy it is now. You can see all these arrows, right? Instead of them 3 looking at you and getting that kill, you've got some support now. So even if you go down, maybe number 4 kills number 4 here. So you're getting a bit more mixy, a bit more trades. So yeah, maybe just playing together slightly more. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect, bro. Any questions so far? You happy with everything? About halfway through?
Definitely. Yeah, no.
Perfect. Alright, let's carry on then. So you know what I'm going to say about this?
I'm actually surprised to see that I'm going there
Yeah,
again.
you know what I'm going to say about this, bro. Same thing. It's not a bad play, but 3 defenses in a row, you got to think they're going to start to adapt to this. Now, they might not, but like we said, against better players, you got to think they're going to adapt to it. I'm going to forward it until you get into an engagement. And I think, yeah, you're doing the exact same thing. Again, so what I think the main thing I want to talk about is if you're going to do the same thing, you can win a game 6-0 doing this, okay? I want to make this very clear to everyone watching. You can win a game 6-0. But my point isn't that. My point is your teammates are playing 3 versus 4 until somebody gets onto this area here. So all it is you're just relying on your teammates too much, for me, in my opinion. If it works for your play style and you guys have an agreement, you're like, you know what, I'm going to cover A, you guys do that, then perfect. I think stick to it. Don't listen to me in that regards because I'm not on the team. If that's your strategy, then it works perfectly.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm giving an alternative option that you're relying on these 3. Now, the way I like to play, I love to be the playmaker. And I could never play like this because I feel like I'm giving my teammates a bit too much responsibility. And I'm kind of limiting myself here to my opponents. I like to be the guy that makes the plays. And what you're doing right now is you're relying on your shot, but you're relying on them to push in this lane. You're essentially saying, unless they come into this area, I'm not getting a kill. And I personally don't like that playstyle because the game could go by and you could get no engagements purely because you're not moving too far. So hope that makes sense to you. I'm not telling you to never do it. I think there's a time and place. And yeah, and another problem is you've actually let the bomb go down. So I'm curious to see what happened there, 4 versus 3, and why the bomb was down, because that was your main responsibility. So tell me, man, what happened? What happened to your bomb site? This is your bomb site to cover.
Probably I heard footsteps, I guess. Yeah. That's why I'm sitting there. And
okay, so you heard footsteps. So you were waiting for the flank, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So
and also usually they eventually pop a daddy or something.
Yeah. You just be a bit more cautious of the flank. Okay. So you go through. I like the marker just to mark it for everyone, just so everyone know that marker there is very, very good. That fact that you mark your opponents, especially with a game with no red dot sites, you definitely want to mark a lot more and just really make use of that kind of thing. There's a good play there, and I'm curious to see what you do. Oh, okay. I mean,
that's the guy that I was prepared for.
Yeah. You know what? That's unlucky, man. It's just this is the thing with sniper. This just happens, man. That looks like you hit him on my screen, man. I'm gonna back you up there, bro. It looks like you hit him. I'm actually gonna see that again. Let's go to VAR check. Bro, I mean, that's very unfortunate. You know what? We're gonna forgive you for that one. But yeah, I think so. Can you see my problem though? Because you've done this 3 rounds in a row, do you think this guy prepared for you? Because I think he did.
Enemy bomb at Alpha.
The guy that snuck up on you, this guy behind you.
Either I'm not expecting them to come A at all,
Yeah.
because they would expect me to be there, or
Yeah.
I would expect them to think that I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It's the, you know.
But you're looking at this kill cam, right? Looking at this kill cam, you can see this guy expected you to be there. That's where it comes down to the predictability. So if you did this 3 rounds in a row, he's thinking, all right, when he's pushing through, he's like, this guy's been sniping our ass every round. I'm gonna kill him. So that's where it comes into
exactly
things.
why I was waiting for him, ready for him.
Yeah, so I think honestly it was bad timing from you. It wasn't a bad play, it was bad timing. But my main point is try not to do the same thing every round. I think you know that, so I'm not going to keep going on about it because you've said it. It's just yeah, I think that's just kind of what happened there. And your team is left in a 1v3, and yeah, once they planted the bomb, I think it was very, very chalked up. But let's see what you do in this next round. So you're going to go for it again. You got the dead silence, so you're going to try something different. So again, if you what did you say? This is the team you play with every day, or like you guys play consistently, right?
Yeah, we play frequently, yeah.
Okay,
but
so
now this my friend was saying let's go B or something.
Yeah, so stuff like this as a team, your big advantage, right? Think about it. I play solo queue, okay? So when I'm making plays, I have to mark B and I have to hope my team comes with me. Your biggest advantage as a team of 4 is you guys can make a play, right? If you guys are here and you guys full stack this B area, think about it. Like you guys, you know, okay? Agree. Tell me if you agree or not, right? They're gonna send minimum 2 people A. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, definitely.
From previous rounds, okay? So if you guys are going B and you're here, this is gonna be the setup. We don't know where these 2 are right now, but let's just assume that this is the play. This guy's watching middle.
Probably one going B, probably one.
Let's just put one guy at the B kitchen head. Let's just give them that setup as a pretty standard setup, okay? By the time you guys are here, this guy's gonna be like, shit, they're not here. He's gonna back off through catwalk. This guy's gonna go back off there, and they're gonna start to position towards B, okay? But by then, you guys should be here. You guys should be here, right? That is the aim. This should be your optimal setup. You guys should push in. You guys should kill number 3. And then you guys should have the bomb site, get the bomb down. Number 3, your number 3 can play a creddy here, watch his angles. Does that make sense? You kind of get where I'm coming from? You guys should basically bombard B, get the bomb down. But what the problem is, right? And if you're in a team of 4, this should never happen. I know it's only a few seconds, but you guys should, as soon as the loading screen starts, right? As soon as this round's over, right now, whoever's making the call should be like, right, we're going B. And as soon as he says that, you guys are no to commit to B, because every second that you're wasting, you're giving them time to react. So when you go through here, like even this small second, I'm going to count the seconds here, okay? So 1, 2, 3. He says it at 1 minute 24, go B. That's not good enough. That's too late in the round. So it's not your fault. I think your teammate, if you play with him, just like, look, if we're going to make a play like that, we need to say it earlier. So look at this round, 1 minute 24, right? He had 6 seconds to say it, so he obviously thought it in his head. So I think that's just kind of like, you need to be a bit more alert. Not you, sorry, but he needs to like tell you, right, we need to go B. And that way, I think it's good that you responded straight away. But right now, you should be with your teammates here, and instead you're coming through there. So it's just about those few seconds, especially with you having bomb, right? We want to get bomb down as quick as possible. So every second is really going to hurt you guys. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and you guys can apply it going forward. So let's see what happens there. Now, I still think you're going to win the round because B is a very good push as a 4-stack. But my point was just to get there slightly earlier. And I'm not sure, but you tell me if you agree. Would you have sniped if you knew you were going B?
No, I'm actually telling my teammate here. I was actually telling, if I would have known they were going B, I would have not used my sniper rifle.
Yeah, so that's literally perfect timing, man. And I think if you're playing as a 4-stack, you like use that advantage. You have an unfair advantage. Like, I don't have that. So I have to make plays by myself, but you have that advantage. So like, you shouldn't be in a situation where you're down 4-3. Especially as a team that's communicating, there should be no excuses. So that's my main point. And yeah, so just try working with the call outs in terms of your teammates. Be like, right, we need to do this. And another problem is you've got the bomb with a sniper. So right now, remember what we spoke about. Your main priority should be going to B bomb site, but you can't do that with a sniper. So you're kind of watching the flank. You actually managed to, I told you before, you're going to win this round in my opinion. Not because of, I just think overall it's a good play. I'm just trying to perfect that route for you. So against a better team that adapt maybe slightly faster, you can still win that round. I still think you're going to win this round, but it's just against better players I'm trying to adapt you for. So you're going to go through, right now again, like, this is, in my opinion, a really bad play. Not because you're sniping, but because you've got the bomb, and you're kind of, again, you're just leaving it a chance. Like right now, if somebody picks up a dead silence and flanks you and gets a kill on you, he can win the 2v4. My main point here is in a 2v4, you guys should be in the bomb, getting the bomb down. But the fact that you're here with a sniper and like against a good team right now, he can flank you and kill you, and it's very tricky. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The
So,
reason I think,
yeah.
the reason I think I'm there and still there is I guess that I'm just like waiting for my teammates to communicate that B is clear, or they're all on A, they're all on B, so I can make a move.
Okay, no, I understand. I understand, but what about this, right? Let's say you're waiting here, right? You're sitting here, okay? Your teammates are all there. All 3 of them are there, right? And there's only 2 of them left, okay? So let's say there's 2 of them left. Now, by the time this guy, let's say B's not clear, they're going to trade it anyways. There's 3 of them. So let's say they go through, or for whatever happens, they all die. Whatever happens, it gets Mixy in there. By the time you're going to react to that regardless, you're going to be by yourself. So let's say they say B is clear. Like, all right, B's clear, come through. This guy's not there. You then have to rotate through. So however you go through this way, through this way, through this way, you don't know where number 2 is. Now, this is my point. Number 2 could have been at A the whole time. His teammates could have said, right, they're at B. So he could have made a play through the flank. He could have dead silence, go through, and he could catch you at bad timing. Now, what could happen is number 2 could be here. Again, these are all what ifs, but that's what Search and Destroy is. We don't know. I have no idea what number 2 is. I'm giving you a scenario that I think is quite common. Number 2 could easily be flanking. He could take you out, and this is the problem, right? If he takes you out here, you've now lost bomb. This guy can back off. He can play this head glitch. Number 1 runs back. Do you know what I mean? There's just so many scenarios that can happen now that they've instantly got the advantage because you've lost bomb in a crucial spot. So although I understand you waiting for them, I'm just saying, imagine right now you die to your right. With a minute left, you've given the opponents a good chance of winning. And when it's a 4 versus 2, they should have no chance of winning. So you should 100% be with them. Yeah, like right here, you rotate through.
1 minute
like right here, like imagine right here, this guy comes through the right with dead silence. You're gonna have no awareness, and it's not even gonna be like your fault to lose that gunfight, but you're leaving it to chance is my point. So you're going through, like you're playing well into the rotating, but you should already be there getting the bomb down. So it's just about efficiency in my opinion, getting the bomb down as quick as possible. So right now the bomb should be down, but from here I'm assuming you win the round. I mean 4 versus 2, you guys are in the right. So this is my point. You know when you plant the bomb, right? Honestly, tell me the truth, right?
You can see by the way that I picked up a gun.
Oh, okay, perfect. Chat, give a W right now. What a guy. That's what I want to see. This is perfect. So, okay, I want you to tell me the truth, right? Honestly, if you don't agree, then that's fine. Once you planted the bomb, right here, did you think this was a guaranteed round win from here?
I would expect, yeah.
Yeah? So if
like
you think it's...
90 plus percent.
Okay, so if you think this is a guaranteed round win from here, let's say 99%. From here, what is your percentage now? Like, from what we spoke about?
Meh. 50-50.
No, I'll give you a bit more. I'll give you a bit more. Yeah. I would say 75, right?
Yeah.
Because if that guy comes on the right and kills you, so now instantly, just from you being from here to here, that one route has given you 20 more percentage. Again, these are all what ifs, but my point is I'm trying to prepare you. This is a coaching session. I'm trying to prepare you for the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. I'm not saying that what you did was a wrong play. I'm trying to say that what you did could have been more optimal by being with your team. And I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to like critique everything. I'm just trying to give you different options.
Do you think that I should actually have went with them?
I'll tell you
my sniper rifle.
Well,
Because
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The reason why it's not about you right at this point. It's about the bomb, okay? If your teammate had the bomb, then I understand what you're doing. You're watching middle because it's an easier gunfight for you, and you're taking the chance because you're thinking my teammates are in a 3 versus 2. Worst case scenario, they'll be in a 3 versus. Sorry, you're thinking worst case scenario. If I die, they're in a 3 versus 2 with the bomb down, so they're pretty safe, right? That's not my problem. It's the fact that you've got bomb on your head. Does that make sense? It's not about where you are. It's the fact that you've got bomb. So if you had this same play without bomb, I would understand why you did it, because you're probably saying, I can watch middle, I can watch the cross, and then to be fair, I can see it. But the fact that you got bomb, that's what I don't like about it. So I want to make that clear. It's not about where you are. It's the fact that you've got bomb and you're sitting back. I think that's the big problem, because they're waiting for you and anything could happen on the rotation. So yeah, as soon as you get the bomb down, I think you're going to win the round. That's exactly what ends up happening. I don't even need to watch it to decide, oh my God, did he win? Imagine, no way he wins. My trolling. Oh my God. Did he actually win this? You tricked me. No shot he wins this, right? Okay. You guys got fortunate a few seconds, but I mean, if you guys lost that, what about
where that kid came from? But yeah,
I don't think I need to break that down. I'm sure you guys know what you did wrong there in a 4v2. There's
definitely.
I feel like you guys must have just trolled in that one. But okay, 4-4. Oh, no, you're tricking me. You're going to the... Oh, there you go. So you're going for a different angle now. This is good. This is good. And the thing is, right, your mouse and keyboard, I trust your snap a bit more than I think you trust your snap as well. So this is why I like this top glass play, because what happens is if you don't find anyone here, you can easily just back off, where with the bottom luggage, you couldn't back off consistently, and that's where the problem was. So right now, when you're top glass, if you spot somebody and you want to escape, you can just run through the door. You can go downstairs, you can go across, you can go through catwalk, you go wherever. There's so many different areas where I think it's quite good to play out. So let's kind of see what happens. You spot one, you spot two. Okay, yeah, this is where you need to be. You need to get out right now. You need to get out, yeah. I was going to say. So, I mean, you know how to snipe. You probably snipe better than me, to be honest. So right now, I think just when he hit you here, I think the fact that you stood still and he pre-aimed you, he basically got his centering on right there. You had to get out right there. You just had to get out of this scenario. And yeah, would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I was feeling confident in a way that I was also centering, but yeah.
Yeah. I think the problem right there was actually the jump shot. It gives them momentum, and I hope you watch the kill cam here, just so we can break it down. No, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I think it's just that when they center onto you, then do the jump shot, they get that second more than you. But I mean, you know how to snipe, so I think you probably know what you could have done better there, to be honest. Anything you want to say about this round, or?
No. You summed it all up.
So yeah, I mean, look, honestly, bro, you got good gun skill, but the fact that you're 4 and 8, I just think you definitely need to, first of all, add a pistol. Second of all, honestly, that's the main thing I can think of, man. There's nothing more besides the points we went through. The one change I would make is obviously what we spoke about. Sometimes the positioning, like one of those rounds where you kind of dolphin dive over without the trophy system. But one thing I want to make clear, man, when you're playing Search and Destroy, there's so many micro decisions you have to make that I've 100% lost rounds where I should have lost just by making one stupid decision. So I don't want you to feel like, you know, you're not good at Search and Destroy or making like loads of plays. I'm just trying to give you different options to hopefully help you going forward.
Straight away. Watch top luggage.
So go through that. This is perfect. Okay, now look at the difference in this, yeah? You've got your player going for bomb now. Now look at the difference, because you're with him. So now you can stun the bottom, you can watch the right, you can nade the top. So now this is a good area for them to quick plant, because you've got support with you. So last time you didn't have support with you, like perfect. I think right there again, I think I was gonna say like you should stun the bottom there.
A straight away.
So like right there, your teammate said he's gonna plant A straight away. I don't agree with that. I don't like blindly planting, and I think it's very obvious he's gonna be bottom hotel, bottom bedroom. So he should have been more careful. But right now, if you know he's going to plant, I think 100% you should have chucked a stun grenade in there, because it's very, very common. So if you chucked a stun in there, you could have cut that angle. So what I think you should have done is, instead of pre-aiming this area, chucked a stun, head glitched hair, and watch the right. That way,
if I would have the position that I'm coming from, if I would have stunned, it would like
you would have hit him
off the inside doors.
You would have hit him. Yeah, you would have hit him.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. If you chuck a stun there, I know what you're saying, because he's on the head glitch, it would have hit him. It's weird, but it hits him. And in fact, that's what I always do. I chuck a stun in, and then you can actually jump around the corner and you can camera him. But I actually don't blame you. I blame your teammate. I think you shouldn't just go for a quick plant just because, you know, go for a quick plant. I think you need to still assess the situation. Like right there, although you're watching over him, he didn't have anyone in that corner. I'm just saying something you could have done slightly better was chuck a stun grenade. But in my opinion, your teammate was at fault there for kind of just...
Bottom bed,
so
and bottom luggage.
maybe we're going to skip this round, because I don't think it's going to go the way you want it.
Bottom bed, bottom luggage.
You know what? I'm not going to break it down, because I think that was just a mistake with the stun. But yeah, does that make sense about the stun grenade? And I think your teammate was, to be honest, at fault there. I don't think that was your fault. I think he should have been a bit more patient. And that's something maybe as a team you guys can kind of go through and address. But this guy's clutching up, man. Let's see. It's 2 versus 1. I think they're going to win this one. It's going to go to the dreaded round 11. Ooh, 1 versus 1. Let's kind of see what happens there. So you got the bomb down. I mean, yeah, you can hear him. At this point, you've won the round, because you can hear him, so you know he's not defusing us. So your teammate did good of playing patient, and you win the round. Okay, so you're 4 and 9 right now. So what do you think of your performance so far?
Horrible.
And what do you think from what we've discussed? Is there anything that you've realized like, right, I could have done that better, or do you think kind of what we went through is everything so far?
No, you're absolutely right in everything you said so far. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect, man. So you can see like this Unix, his gun skill is really good. He's a gold player. Now I'm not sure with your relationship in terms of how many.
He's actually a diamond player, but
okay. I was gonna say I don't think he's a gold player. I was gonna say
he's actually playing mouse and keyboard always, and it was like after only a couple of days that he now switched to controller, so he did very well there.
So he's frying. Shout out to Unix, man. He's frying. So you're gonna go through again, just a really small thing. I don't know if you've got it, but because you've got 10 classes, I think one thing I always try to be very, very critical on is the break in Search and Destroy. Okay, people don't think it's a big thing, but for me, it's a massive thing. So even just changing from a trophy to dead silence, you should have an extra class available and make sure it's done before the round, just to really make sure you're ready for the gunfight, especially in a round 11 where every second's gonna be crucial. You should already be there with your teammates, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. So you're gonna go through
Actually
middle.
removed a lot of classes.
Oh, really?
After, like, shortly after that game, yeah.
After this game, you had enough.
Like more consistency in my classes, yeah.
So right now, I think while your teammate's here, there's no reason for your teammate to come middle with you. You should 100% have this guy here on my minimap to support your teammate. You watching middle is okay. I think one thing I think is quite bad right now is your centering. You're watching this area here, right? But if somebody jumps around that corner and they pre-aim you, you're going to be in a very tough spot. So you're centering right now. You're centering there. I think you're just kind of going to use your reactions. But our whole point of centering is to reduce your reactions and rely more on your centering. So do the work before you get in the engagement. So I feel like right now, just
I
like
catch
even
myself.
Yeah,
I
do you
catch
understand?
myself
Yeah.
centering. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Because I think what you do is you're so used to your snap of your aim that you rely on it a bit too much. And I'm not saying it's not going to work, but again, we're trying to get you consistent. So stuff like centering. Now, this teammate here, Darwizzy, right? He just said, I'm going to come to middle, basically, even though you're watching it. So this is the problem, because what's happening is he just replaced you and done nothing, and your teammate is by himself on A. So this is where you need to make a play. And I think right now, instead of going through middle, I would have liked if you just gone to the right and just supported your teammate on A. Especially with no intel right now, you guys have nothing on the minimap. You guys just want to basically get a bit more map control on A and help your teammate. So I think that wasn't the best choice, but let's see what happens.
Trying to get.
So you spot one. I like the prone play because you see the diamond, you're gonna challenge him. I like that play. Oh, okay. So you back off. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's okay. It's so funny watching mouse and keyboard because it's so fast compared to mine. I'm on 6.6. It's just so fast. Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I think right now, again, there's just a small adjustment. I think right now, while your teammate's planting, okay, your main threat is just to watch over him. And consistently, you guys just haven't been watching over each other when planting. So as you're approaching this corridor here, right, your teammate's on the bomb. You know that the danger for you is going to be bottom bedroom, top bedroom, left window, and middle, right? Your teammate is covering middle, and your other teammate's got the flank. So if I'm you, I'm going behind this head glitch, I'm snaking it, and then I'm going behind this head glitch. And I'm just playing my snakes, playing my creddy spots, and just making sure that I'm watching over my teammate, getting some support fire, watching over him. But what you actually end up doing is you actually end up going around the corner. And again, like, you're checking this angle here, but it's so much better to be on the head glitch, and you can check the same angle. So check the same angle, but just from a better angle from it. So you're literally looking out in the open. Now think about it. You're centered onto this lamp here. Now I understand why you center onto the middle so that you can snap onto any of the four. I understand that. But what you're doing is you're leaving it to chance once again. Like, look what happened. He's looking at you. You then have to react to him. Like, look at this. By the time you look at him, great shots by you, okay? Very, very good shots. Your snap on was excellent, but it's just a bit too late. And especially as you go up against better players. Look, this guy's Platinum 3. Imagine against a Crimson, right? That's already pre-aiming you. Like, in my opinion, if I'm up there and I'm pre-aiming you, I'm probably going to get that kill. And you just got to be more consistent. Because I think if you're on this head glitch, I think you kill him 10 out of 10 times. Like, look at your gun skill here. You snapped onto him. So you had great gun skill, but you just put yourself at a disadvantage down to positioning. And now what happens is your teammate's planting. I'm assuming he's going to die as well. Let's kind of see what happens. But does that make sense what I'm saying about the head glitch?
Yeah, 100%. I have noticed or heard that he was planting, so I wanted to immediately be able to watch over him.
Yeah, and I think again that comes down to
was not good.
Yeah, I think it comes down to planning. Like, you guys are playing as a team. It shouldn't be like planting and then communicating. It should be like setting up then planting. I feel like you guys are really rushing the bomb plant like it's going to win the round, but you still have to have positions around it. So now you're in a 3 versus 2. Your teammates go through, so I hope you win this. Okay, so you end up winning, but individually, I think you could have done a lot better. I think 4 and 10 wasn't your best game. I think you got good gun skill, honestly. I can just tell.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I see, man. So I think, you know what, I'm glad that you sent me a gameplay like this where maybe you weren't up to scratch, just so we can kind of see another side of it. Shout out to Unix dropping 18 kills for the W, man. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that mod session. We're actually going to go into a private game now and go through some mechanics. But everyone on YouTube, that was a bit of a longer episode. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a like. And can we shout out my man G3X, because he was a great kind of subscriber to break down. Yeah, man. So thank you so much for that. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.